This is section 533. We're going to destroy polynomials by factoring them. So we're going to factor polynomials using the rational roots theorem. So let's factor this polynomial. We're going to take multiple pieces and put it together. Now remember, the tool we're going to use is polynomial division. Now the question is, what do I divide by? Right? That was last night's lesson. We need to find our p's over our q's. So we look at the factors of this number, those are our possible p's, over the factors of our leading coefficient, those are our possible q's. And so we do every combination. So 1 over 1, 3 over 1, and so these are our possible zeros of our polynomial. So we go through, and we test it out. So let's try 1. We write the leading coefficients, 1, -1, -5, -3. And we go through and we try and divide it. Add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply, add straight down. Now, because my remainder is -8, it doesn't work. I couldn't destroy this polynomial. So we try the next one. So the next one is going to be -1. So writing out the coefficients. So add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply, add straight down. My remainder is 0. That means, cha-ta, cha-ching, this -1 is going to be the 0 of my polynomial. So if I wanted to think of it as a factor, x minus my 0, so x minus -1, my factor is x plus 1. So what do I have here? Remainder, constant, x squared. So now I have x plus 1 times x squared minus 2x minus 3. So I need to see if I can factor this further. Well, it's quadratic. A times c. Factors of -3 that add to -2. So that's -3 and +1. Right? So I can say that that's x minus 3 and x plus 1. Now I can write this as x plus 1 squared and x minus 3. So this is my factored polynomial. Now if it wanted me to also include the zeros, I mean it's not saying it, but if it wanted, I could say my zeros are -1 and +3. But I used polynomial division. This is destroyed. Let's destroy this next polynomial. So the first thing I need to do again is my p's over my q's. So my possible p's are the factors of 16 and over my q, which is 1. So I get plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 8, and plus or minus 16. So now, going through that, let's test them. Let's try +1. So we're writing our coefficients out. There's no placeholders. Add straight down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So it looks like +1 is a factor. Cha-ching. So I know that x minus 1 is going to be one of my factors. So now we can go through and we can calculate that. So we have my remainder, my constant, my x squared, x to the third. Okay, because it's still x to the third, that means I can factor this further. So let's see if there's another 1 inside here, right? There might be multiplicity. So let's test 1 again. So we got 1, 0, -12. I'm just writing out the coefficients. Add straight down, multiply, add, multiply. Whoops. 1, +1, so -11. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, so I don't have 1 anymore. So now let's try -1. I'm going to write. So this is my current polynomial after I've factored it. If I wanted to write that off to the side, it's x minus 1 times x cubed minus 12x minus 16. And so, but I'm just writing the coefficients, including the placeholder. So add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply. Okay, so 1 doesn't work. Negative 1 doesn't work either. So now let's move on. Let's try 2. So right now my coefficients, 1, 0, negative 12, and negative 16. Add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply. I feel like that's so close. That's so close. But that's negative 32. So maybe negative 2, hopefully, maybe, who knows. Add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply, add straight down. Here we go. Multiply. Awesome. So I know that this is also a factor. So x minus my 0. So negative 2 is a 0, because the remainder theorem says so. X plus 2 is going to be the factor. So what do I have so far? I have this factor. So x minus 1. I have this factor, x plus 2, and then what am I left over? Constant x squared. And that's quadratic, so I can factor that further, a times c. So x minus 4, x plus 2. So rewriting that, my factored form, I have 2 of these. So I can say x plus 2 squared times x minus 1 times x minus 4. If I wanted to say the zeros, it's not asking it, but if I wanted to, I'd say my zeros are that. All right, giving you guys a moment to practice it, and you can check your answer. So there is the answer. So what did we learn today? Well, we factored a polynomial. We used polynomial division to do it. And that's going to be the key here. So what did we use to factor a polynomial? We used polynomial division. And guess what? By doing so, you destroyed those polynomials. This does conclude our lesson. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments.